I'm Matthew James.
And I'm Nick Schultz.
And this is Invasion 20.
The What's Sizzling podcast presents a special mini-series. I'm Matthew James.
Bought my competition. That's right. I own WCW.
However, the contract reads
Nick Schultz.
We just want to be as successful as Vince is. And then we'd like to, kick his butt.
And now,
What's Sizzling presents
Invasion
20. Well, hey, happy 4th, guys. This is the week of the 4th.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, 2001.
Yes.
A lot of freedom then.
Where were you?
Yeah, where were you? Actually,
where were you?
Where was our special guest this week? We have sexy Jesse Jesus, Hammer Tunis.
Jesse Jesus?
We have Jesus Jones.
Wow.
Right here, right now.
Hey, what's up, Poppy?
What's going on? Where were you the week of July 4th, 2001?
The week of July 4th, 2001. I would have been the summer coming out of 8th grade going to high school, so probably starting football season. And this is like exactly around the time I kind of started fading out of wrestling for a little bit.
Oh, wow, really?
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But you're still kind of in on it. Did you watch this live, you think?
I definitely watched this live because I vividly remember it. And then really the start of the school year and like fading into that freshman year. It just like I was at sports every day till like 8 o'clock and then like at home and pretend to do a little homework, which I didn't do.
Classic.
And like, you know what I mean? Well, dude, it's hard to fucking follow the Attitude Era, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And the
Attitude Era just ended in March. So like basically you just see Austin turn heel. You're like, I'm not really into this. Rock's not around anymore. Triple H is hurt. What am I here for other than the invasion?
Does Rock take off after 01, or does he do Backlash that year?
He does Backlash and then he leaves.
Yeah.
No. He gets
after 17.
I don't think he does Backlash. I think he gets beat around. Backlash is the double tag team match for the IC title and the world title. But during this time as well in history, July 4th, 1987, bring you back then, War Games debuted at Great American Bash in 87. July 4th, 1993. You want to know what happens that day?
I know. I feel it in my bones every year.
You know what ship it was on?
Yes.
The USS Intrepid. Now, Yokozuna was doing a Body Slams challenge, and who was going to defend America?
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, most people. Yeah.
A lot. Most people involved on the boat that
Several
day.
of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, a lot of Miami Dolphins.
A lot of Miami Dolphins.
So they couldn't do it.
You know who could do it? He wasn't on the card. He had to fly a helicopter in.
Last minute entry.
Lex Luger. American-made Lex Luger. And not a year later, there was a jury selection beginning for the Vince McMahon federal steroid trial.
Beat it, feds.
Get out of here, federal
Get out of here. I'm going to take my great cup of coffee and my neck brace.
Hey, who said that? Who said that? Where's that sound coming from? I'll find it.
It's so good. It's one of the great looks of Vince McMahon. And during this episode, right during this week, you're going to be seeing another great look of Vince McMahon. Now, also, July 7th, 1996. Who's the third man? Hulk Hogan joins the NWO. July 7th, 1997, one of the greatest Nitro moments in history. Randy Savage versus La Parka.
Nice.
Though it was not La Parka. There was not he did do a dance, but hit him with a diamond cutter, rips the mask off, DDP, crowd goes crazy.
The whole time?
It's insane. So not a year later, July 6, 1998, Goldberg defeats Hogan in Atlanta in front of the largest crowd in TV history, 41,412 in attendance. Now, this is 3 years later.
For free.
WCW is
for
dead.
free.
They gave it away for free. That's right. They do mention that as one of the last moments, too.
Fuck.
But tonight, we're not going to be in Atlanta. We're in Atlanta next week. We're going to be doing tonight is a WCW main event in Tacoma, Washington. What a spot to do it. The exact opposite end of the United States, northwest Tacoma.
Of anyone who ever could have had anything invested in WCW locally or anything like that. Like, it's just the farthest. It's not a great wrestling town, I don't feel like.
I'm pretty sure they had a ban or something up in place for a little while, too, or they couldn't have
on wrestling?
Events. Yeah.
Only
Seattle. They could
only rock, alternative rock. Sorry,
yeah, only grunge music.
Only grunge.
There. It was always raining there. That's the only reason they didn't want to have the events there. But Vince McMahon opens up the show with a recap of SmackDown. He's got Austin and Angle in the ring. Austin and Angle, he's trying to prep up for a fight, so he's getting them all juiced up. He's like, you know what? Why don't you beat the hell out of each other? And then Austin and Angle are getting all jazzed up, and then Angle goes in for a hard hug on Vince McMahon.
Yep.
Austin looks dejected. He again, I love this Austin. He about to fight Angle, looks at McMahon, gives him a big hug, and then here comes the money.
Here it comes.
Shane McMahon comes out to the ring. His mother last week just gave him this WCW main event, so he's having the time of his life. He's having a great night on Raw. He comes out. He says, 3 eyes. Actually, this letter will stand for invasion. And he tries to prop up the main event. The main event that night, WCW main event, we could talk about it right now, not the event, but we'll say, why do they do this? Booker T.
Yep.
Defending the WCW world title against Buff the Stuff Bagwell.
I guess if we're going to bring it up, I just want to talk about it right now. This match is not as bad.
No.
Looking back as I remember it.
In history,
and
people
how
call it the worst of all time.
It's literally been either I watched so much more worse wrestling between then and now, or it's literally not as bad as it was made out to be for the last 20 years.
You're looking for a reason at that point.
Looking for a reason to hate it. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I could
say, because you're mad it's not Goldberg. Every week they're still chanting for Goldberg.
Yeah, they really are. There's the Goldberg chants showing up every time.
Like, why haven't you gotten us Bill Goldberg yet?
And they're mentioning him in the back. Like they're talking about him in the back right now, saying how can we get him on their contract? But again, they don't want to spend the money for him. So Booker T, Buff Bagwell, and again, the only thing I could say is these guys still pretty much have ring rust going on, and they haven't really wrestled in 4 months.
But have they been in Ohio? Where
They've
were
been
they?
training. Yeah, they were training in OVW. I think they're in UPW also training too. Like Shane Helms was like helping with the training because he was like jumping right in.
Yeah.
Buff Bagwell, this is another reason why he got canned, was showing up late for the training. He would not train. He would say he got injured during one of the spots and doesn't want to train. He was just basically not being a great employee. And then this main event happens, and I guess it's just a reason. But again, watching it again, not that bad.
One of the more wanted people, I would say, one of the more known people, even me as a WWF guy,
Buff
knew
Bagwell
who Buff the Stuff was.
Yeah, he was over there, man, and they pushed him too after in the NWO. After the NWO, he had a U.S. title run for a little bit.
So I'll say he's like a top 10 guy.
Well, they had a
WWF fans would know.
Yeah, and they had a moment where they could have got him over is when he came back from that neck injury, and then they had him turn heel again. So they're prepping up this main event, and again, next week is in Atlanta. Now, the only WCW event that ever happened in the Tacoma Dome, and I looked this up, Spring Stampede 1999.
What did DDP do?
DDP beat Sting, Ric Flair, Hogan in the main event.
So this should be big title. DDP. If anyone, DDP should be up. DDP, not to get ahead of us, is the SmackDown main event this week.
Yeah, yes, and it's Tacoma.
And you're okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. It's both Tacoma.
They don't do it. They don't do it the next week, but they're still doing 2 Tacoma shows. They did 2 Madison Square Garden shows last week, so I guess they're trying to keep the crowd going.
Don't go to Atlanta twice, you fucking idiots.
They went to Atlanta once. All this stuff.
They're Atlanta the next week.
Makes you so angry because this episode.
Just wait.
They can't wait. They have too much stuff to get in.
He has a new toy. He has a new toy. He wants to play with everything.
I know, but they've waited. They've wasted so much time. You know what I mean? Just what's another week at this point?
Dude, this week right here is definitely just kind of like a holdover week. Now, behind the scenes, they told Spike TV that WCW Raw is going to happen. So this is basically, we're going to show you the WCW main event. We have the announcers coming out. We'll talk about those later on. But this is going to be the pilot episode of WCW Raw. And then they're going to go to SmackDown, have WWF SmackDown. And then eventually they're going to do crossover WCW versus WWF again. This week ruins it. Now, watching the week again, my God, this is a pothole on the road to the road to invasion. The last week's episode was fantastic in the Madison Square Garden. It felt like the Raw after Mania. This week,
all right. If you're a big fan of comedy, it's great.
Yes.
If you tuned in for some of the funniest things that you could ever see on a pro wrestling show, you are in luck this week. The Tory stuff is great. Austin, Angle, and Vince, and Deborah, who Toonie and I talked about yesterday when we were talking about this, very underrated. Very underrated this entire time.
Deborah gives the sass every now and then.
Facials, Toonie, what did you bring up? What was the bit?
Austin just uses her so well. And almost every bit starts off with him telling her to shut up. And then he'll be like, Deborah, tell Vince about da-da-da-da-da. And she'll start to tell it, and he'll just cut her off and finish the story. But every time, dude, without fail. And it's so funny.
Well, there's the spot later on where Austin and Angle both agree that Deborah ruined it. Like that. Austin and Angle they're at each other's throats every now and then they'll have a moment where they agree with each other, and then Austin will immediately then go at his throat again. It's this is only a month, but there's so many great moments in this.
So you don't think anyone wrote this? You think this is all
that's what they talked
improv
about
with Austin and
they had
Angle.
The general idea, and then they try to pop each other the entire way. And then Austin and Angle did say, this is on the Broken Skull session, they would have maybe 2 takes tops, because like the first take they crack up, and then the second take they would nail it. But it just, you can see like there's moments when they're trying to hold back. Like there's definitely like, and you can see there's moments that they didn't talk about beforehand that they wanted to throw in there.
Was Austin, not that he got a chance, but when he did get a chance, was he this funny in WCW? I know he had his moments in ECW, but he was always a funny guy, yeah?
Yeah, he was charismatic in WCW because, like, I mean, he wasn't great on the microphone. In ECW, he was tremendous on the microphone, but, like, he'd still talk. He was dynamic. He was the Hollywood blonde,
he
like,
didn't get a lot
getting
of
in the
time
ring.
to talk, and then, like, a lot of the times, too, they buried him down there with a manager or whatever to do his
That was like 94, yeah. They were pushing him 92 to, like, 93.
Like, but when you
Colonel
watch,
Rob
like, his
Parker.
Hollywood blonde stuff and he lets go a little bit, and there is a little bit of a goofier side to him. You see it on the entrance, and like there's flashes there, and he looks like $1 million. He's young, can't find anything to do with him.
Dude, I love when you watch him back on the network, or even Peacock now. Watching old Austin matches, it's a completely different wrestler, and he's so much better, so much crisper, so much every move has emphasis. His whole body moves with his offense.
It's very much like that 4 Horsemen style of work.
Yes.
And I wonder if that has a lot to do with him working with Arn and Rick and Steamboat a lot early in his career. And I'm sure it did.
Oh, the Steamboat matches are great.
You know, the pacing, very quick pace, basic spots, but everything's bang, 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 and nice and crisp. Smaller. Really great bumper and seller.
Yep.
Really great bumper and seller.
He knew exactly when to do it and when to overdo it. So the Austin now, at this point, he's pretty beat up. He's not really wrestling a lot, but he's backstage and he's just sharpening those comedic chops every week. It's just so good. And McMahon has the great reactions too, because like he knows he made this Austin this way because of WrestleMania. It's just
he created this monster. He's got him on his side, so he's got him to do his bidding, and that's nice. But like this is not the Austin.
No, this is not the
that
Austin
he thought he was getting.
Yeah, this is a nice foreshadowing for next week. But now we have first time challenging for the IC title since. What was it? Shotgun Saturday Night against Triple H. He challenged for the IC title before. Now they counted it twice, but it really was only once because it was at the pay-per-view Beware of Dog against Goldust in a golden casket match. Goldust won the casket match because Mankind was hiding in the casket. Dustin Mandible Claw pulls him in. Taker has an IC title match against new IC champion Albert, and this is a pretty good match. They hit hard. Albert, they're trying to get over right now, and Albert is like a big man, moves big. He's just quick. He's agile too with this.
Yeah, I don't know why didn't it work out for Baldo? He's very happy in his career right now, and he's I think he's head trainer at NXT still. But why couldn't they make it work? Is it because of this? Is it because the X Factor stuff? Is it because
I think it's because he started as a tattoo Prince Albert penis joke.
Yeah,
and that's basically what is. You saw him there, and he kind of just stuck around there because he never really talked to anybody. There was no charisma there to connect to the audience. The thing when he came back as Lord Tensai, if he never was in WWF before, it would have been huge.
They were literally chanting they couldn't wait to chant Albert at him.
And then he came back as a completely different character when everyone knew exactly who he was because he was around for so long. He was a champion.
I guess they should have just addressed it.
Think about this real quick. X-Pac never won the IC title. The first member of X Factor, isn't that weird? The first member of X Factor to win like an IC championship is Albert. They gave it to Albert.
X-Pac never in his career had the Intercontinental title.
He had the European title. He had the light heavyweight title, the tag team title. I don't think he won the hardcore title.
Probably.
Maybe he had the Scott Hall thing where he's like, I don't really need the championships. I can just get over on my own.
Scott Hall had the IC title though, multiple times.
6 titles.
He didn't need the titles.
He just didn't need it. He took it though.
Yeah. So this match, it ends with DDP coming out. He knows that Kane's not available because Kane's watching Sarah this week or something. There's always some reason why Kane's just out of like service at some point. He's like locked in the bathroom. Kane's in the bathroom right now. He can't come out and help his brother. So DDP comes out. He gets Taker. Taker loses by disqualification, and he costs him a chance at what Taker always wanted was that IC gold.
How dare you?
Yeah.
2 skits that we that are going on this week is the APA Who Done It.
Yeah,
they want to know. There's a mole, and they want to know who has been letting WCW guys into the WWF building. Someone did it at MSG both nights, and now they want to know.
Give me a longer build to this. Give me a mole that happens at Invasion or something, because like they literally just did this in 4 segments.
Yeah, they do it really quick. They find out who it isn't, and then they find out who it is, and then that's it.
And not even the finding out who it isn't. They just go to Bob Holly, and they're like, Bob, we know you did it to
it.
And Bob's like, well, now I'm going to be. Well, who wasn't there? You can watch the episode from last week because again, this show exists but the people that are on it never watch it.
So I guess since we'll just talk about these 2 bits real quick. The next segment is they decide it's Test.
Yeah.
And then the next segment out of that, for no reason, they beat the shit out of Test.
Oh,
Like just beat the
smother
shit
him.
out of Test. The final segment of the Test part is Slaughter coming in and going.
Wait, real quick before when he walks in, they go, "I told you we should have got a bigger door."
So Slaughter comes in. He goes, Test couldn't have been with me that night. He was sitting with me, and he was talking about me versus Pat Patterson, 1981, in a boot camp match. What is it? Is it a boot
Madison
camp?
Garden.
That's one of the greatest
At
matches
Madison
of all
Square
time.
Garden.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that's like
Because we-
the Mount Rushmore
Yeah,
for
of
like how to do like a
hardcore.
hardcore blow off. Yep.
Because he couldn't have been. These fucking old wrestlers, man, they cannot help but get themselves over.
they always
Even
get them over,
Sarge
yeah.
a couple
They're
weeks
always a brand.
ago on the A&E show where they're hunting down
I looked up his
the
net. I looked up his
things.
net worth.
Well, how much?
How much do you think?
Oh no.
How much? Wait, did he get anybody in the episode? Did they pay him for anything?
So yeah, they gave him 8 more grand. So
Well,
how much does he have?
$8,000 is his net
Oh,
worth.
okay, 8 grand. He has $8,000, Bob Remus. So then he goes, yeah.
Wait, his name's not Sergeant Slaughter.
No, it's Bob Remus.
Oh,
You could have. He goes, it was him. It couldn't have been Test. And AP are just like, shit. Well, who is it? Not did we beat the fuck out of
Test.
Test?
In the background's Test being stretched out. Wow.
Ow.
Hey, Test made a mistake. We feel
Sorry.
bad about it.
If only they were like, where were you? Instead of just beating the shit out of them.
Yeah,
He could have been
and
like,
they all agreed. Everybody agreed.
I
It's
was
like
with
he passed
Sarge.
them a note that said, "Guess who likes you."
Gave him the eyebrows. I was thinking of Millhouse getting stretched away. in
the
background.
other comedy bits, which actually lead us to the main tonight, so we won't talk about all 3 of them, is the Tori Vince.
Yeah.
Tori
So Tori
and
came
Vince.
last
Tori's
week.
here. She came last, or did she?
Yeah.
And now
maybe
she's
tonight.
here, and she just wants a little time away. She just wants Vince to have a little time away from Austin and
I'm
Eggle
sure
and
there's
Deborah.
a hotel in Tacoma.
No, we got broom closets.
Oh,
We
sorry.
got bathrooms. We got showers. Austin or Angle finding them in the shower.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you guys doing in here?
Yeah. All right. Weird bit though. They decide to call it the mop closet.
Yep,
They say it's the mop closet.
many times.
Austin interrupts them. You would
Yep.
think
I
something
know.
different.
I know where you're going with this.
But in the bathroom later on,
Yes,
all of a sudden they hear a toilet flush.
Yep.
Who walks out with a mop?
with a mop.
Perry
Saturn, not in the mop closet.
How do you not put him in the mop
Put
closet?
him in the mop
the
closet.
corner, just like
Ugh.
hiding behind a mop or something.
I'm telling you, man, they phone in every parts of this stuff.
I'm sure
phone it in.
they filmed the Austin part with the mop closet, and they're like, afterwards they finish, and they're like, shit, we should have put Perry Saturn in there.
Why did
Someone get Perry and throw him in the bathroom taking a dump or something.
boy does he too?
Yeah, he goes, "You're welcome." What a bit for Perry Saturn.
You're welcome.
Poor guy. You know he's Killer Kowalski trained, right?
Yeah.
Perry Saturn is Killer Kowalski trained, and he's just shitting in bathrooms and
Wearing dresses.
wearing dresses.
So while this is happening, there is a intergender feud going on
Not
between
just-
Crash
yes.
Holly and Jackie and Molly Holly and Spike Dudley.
Not just intergender, the first ever cousin versus cousin intergender match.
I never thought about
and I couldn't find any. I looked. I really wanted to find one, Nick. I
There's
could
no Roddy Piper and like
No.
sensational shit.
no. There's nothing. There's no.
Rocket Robin.
There's no. Yeah. There's no. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find another time. I found cousins fighting, like the Godwins and the Hollies and
Wait. The Godwins and the Hollies are cousins?
no, the Godwins versus Hollies. No, they're brothers. The Godwins are
Godwins
cousins.
are brothers.
Oh,
No,
they're
'cause the
brothers.
last name's
yeah.
Godwin. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
Phineas
still-
I. Godwin.
Yeah,
and,
but I have the same last name as some of my cousins.
Henry O. Godwin.
Okay,
That's
anyway.
right. Well, down south, everyone's got the same
Everyone's
name.
got the same last name. No, I couldn't really find another intergender until Tamina and the Roman do battle. I can't find it.
Yeah, so Molly has a great finish though.
Mhm.
Molly go around, gets it on Crash, finishes over. Jackie mended fences from last week, but now she cost Crash the match. Then they have a
Oh.
little thing afterwards. Jackie was a great wrestler. Molly Holly was a great wrestler. I don't know why Jackie wasn't bigger.
Yeah. I remember seeing her boobs on the Insurrection pay-per-view
Yeah, that's
earlier
right.
this year.
Dude, I'll
That's
never
right.
forget
Yeah,
it.
dude,
Never forget it.
Yeah,
Never
my
forget
favorite
it.
part is like as your memory goes, it just gets greatier and greatier, like the Bigfoot footage.
Oh,
where
yeah.
You're like, I remember that, but then you kind of think maybe it's the Stephanie falling
There
off.
were
kind of thing.
boobs. There were boobs.
Yeah, I'm pretty
There's-
sure
they're
there were
big
boobs
boobs.
there. Yeah.
Probably the biggest boobs I've seen to that point. And after that is Miss Kitty, who were like the little tiny boobies, and I love
no,
that.
and then
gift.
after that were the drooping
That
ones.
changed the course
from
of
the
your
May
Oh
life.
my god, that actually kind of fucked with
How
me.
crazy is it that there's a wrestling company that was just showing tits on
Just
on
showing tits.
pay-per-view? Yeah.
Mae Young with her tits out really kind of fucked with me
I thought
as,
those were
as a
real.
little boy.
I thought
I
those
think
were
they
real.
were.
I still think they are.
I
Are
still
they
think
real?
they are. Yeah.
All right, so after the intergender match, just a quick little match. We come back. There's a SmackDown recap. Shows Christian holding on to the trophy. That's still over.
Yep.
I like the dude Christian doing this, but now he wants a trophy of his own. He's going after the light heavyweight championship. And I was surprised at how many times they actually put the light heavyweight championship on TV. I don't remember the light heavyweight championship that much.
I do. I remember it being a prominent title. It was the first new title, well, since the European.
Well,
but
I know
it was-
there was the tournament, and then Taka Michinoku won it for like a year. And then Christian and the Brood won it. Then I don't know what happened after that. Gilbert had it.
Dwayne Gill.
Yep.
Scott Taylor.
Yes.
Scotty Tuhati definitely had a run with it, didn't he?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like they had to have both Too Cool in there. They had to get in there.
Well, that's where they formed their tag team, right?
did,
That's where they
yeah.
introduced both of them is in that tournament, I
And they were
believe.
too much at the first start.
Yep.
And they tried to do the Billy and Chuck stuff with it.
But even
and then
because they come
balked
into
at
the
it 'cause
company
Jerry Lawler was
separately
like-
through that tournament, I think.
So Scott Taylor was around for a while.
Well, yeah,
but
we've
Brian
talked
Christopher
about that,
they
yeah.
were,
finally
they
came
were
in.
too cool, Brian Christopher, and too hot,
Scott Taylor.
Scott Taylor.
Too
yeah.
much.
No, it's too sexy, Brian Christopher. Then he became
Too
sexy,
Grandmaster sex.
Grandmaster.
unlike
Sexy.
sexy Jesus.
Well, he had
over
a lot
here.
of school. A lot of schooling was involved to be Grandmaster. We grant you, you could sit on the
You are
Grandmaster
sexy.
Sexay, but we do not grant you the rank of Grandmaster.
So a couple more comedy bits. Regal and Tajiri together.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No, so they're great. They're making fun of Scotty Tuhati, and basically what it is they set up a handicap match with the Dudleys against Jericho. So APA's in the back. He does the interrogation of Hardcore Holly.
Yep.
Go back to Tori Wilson. She's in the showers.
Yep.
It feels like a Weinstein situation. It's like a slang.
No, it's all everything's bad.
Dude, it's
But it's
2001
okay because
though. 'cause I
yeah, but
think
Tori knows like it all leads somewhere for
Yeah.
Tori. She's the Grandmaster,
my favorite part about this whole thing is like we need to be alone. Me, you, the cameraman, the light,
the lighting guy,
the lighting guy,
sound, the boom
sound
mic
guy, boom mic guy,
operator,
the grip. We need to get that key grip here.
Bruce Pritchard. He's producing the segment. Thank you.
So Scotty versus Tajiri. Now Scotty has a lot of good low stakes matches coming up. Like Scotty's kind of like the MVP of the show where he's doing like 4 or 5 minutes of work. Tajiri, great offense. I forgot how much I loved Tajiri and how much I loved him on offense because like any opening that you got, he would get it. And it was always like he'll find a way to put a move on you. The octopus, the tarantula. He was like an innovator when I was young watching him. Like that guy's fucking great.
Yeah.
He can go.
Tarantula is fantastic.
You know, and that's big too. So you know what else is big? Also an animal, the worm. Worm is
Banging
over.
it, banging
And
it.
dude, you're thinking about
Well,
it
they haven't
beforehand.
seen the worm in a long time.
at Tacoma, Washington.
Really, well, Tacoma certainly hasn't. But
Yeah.
like,
That's where he busted out.
he's
Yeah.
only been back he's only been back a month.
He's been
or
back
so,
for
right?
no, not even that. He's been back for 2
Yeah.
weeks. He was gone for like about 4 or 5 months, and
Yeah.
then before that, they kind of got pushed away because they were trying to push Rikishi so much. So they broke them apart. And then he like throws them both out at the Rumble, and that's kind of the last time you really see both of
Oh
them.
yeah,
Because then Grandmaster Sexay currently fired.
Whoops,
He's in rehab,
on
one of the
account
two.
of bringing drugs into Canada.
Yeah. So again, next time we see him is the mop closet after that. Now we have Booker T and Test having a foreshadowing conversation because this is what the information they get later on was like, oh, Test, I saw him talking to Booker T because Booker T was trying to get not catering, but he was trying to use $1 to get like a soda.
Suspicious.
Dude, but where's he keeping the $1? It's not getting in there. It just went in there first. It comes right out. And like Test is like, oh yeah, you just got to crisp it up a little bit.
Good luck. Good luck at the war next week.
So that's a little Booker T in the back. So we have Devon and Bubba coming out. This is the handicap match, which immediately puts Devon and Bubba at a disadvantage because any handicap matches that happen in the WBF, if you're a single star,
Yeah.
you're going. It's like immediately gives you like 4 times the strength of the tag team. Rai2J is being punished for the rumor of defecting. Rai2J is being punished for the rumor of defecting.
Yep.
Double team at the start till Jericho separates. They set up the was up, but again they pull away the was up. So now you're looking at that. Next week the crowd goes crazy. The Tacoma crowd really kind of sitting on their hands this entire show.
I don't think that Washington is a great place to run a wrestling show, especially one with such high stakes.
So they reverse it. They get a nut shot on Bubba. Bubba always sells the nuts great. He does like the rude where he's like does the overdoes it. There's one in TNA. He's like, Taz, my balls. And then Taz like, I saw her.
Bubba.
Pretty sure Table got a bigger ovation than anybody in the night. They pull the table out. Spike Dudley saves. Jericho lion salts Devon's face. Did you notice that? When he does the lion salt at the end, he lands purely on Devon's face, and then Devon does like the fish sell.
That's such a good sell. It's so good.
Dude, and right now Spike Dudley's like the star of Raw because he got the pop earlier.
Well, he's
with
the
Molly
only one
Holly.
with a consistent, like, where the character of Spike Dudley is going. He gets good TV every week.
Yeah.
Everyone's involved. Everyone loves the little love story. The cousins are involved. It's pretty good stuff.
He gets killed or gets his revenge every week,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he gets
always gets his revenge. He gets killed like Raw. He'll get his revenge on SmackDown. That's how it goes. Or if he gets killed on
half the
SmackDown.
audience,
Yeah. No, SmackDown had a pretty good audience back then.
I guess, yeah.
It was the UPN show, dude. They were still making that like the show.
I love this intro. I love We're not talking about SmackDown right now, but
Oh, the Ovaltron? Dude, the Ovaltron, I love that more than the fist. I think the Overtron should come back, and it did kind of come back with the Fox show. So we're going into the next thing. It's Christian versus 219 pounds over the limit. X-Pac is the light heavyweight championship. Isn't the limit 205? He's 219 at the show.
219 over the limit.
Yeah.
He's 442. So he's 15 pounds over the limit.
Dude, Washington State Athletic Commission. Dude, the Washington State Athletic Commission would have shut
It
that
used to
down.
be 215. It was not 205 back in the day.
Oh, was it 215?
But they could have upped it to 220.
Well, that's for X Factor. They get the X Factor of that. So the X Factor music actually hits again. So Christian was a former light heavyweight championship back when he first came into the Brood. The crowd again hates X-Pac. So if you want the heat of the night, it's X-Pac sucks. X-Pac sucks. Miscommunication on the finish gets a little too complicated with what they're trying to do. Edge kind of cost Christian the match. Edge and Christian are basically going to be breaking up at this point. I think Edge and Christian last as long as Just Incredible and X-Pac at this point. I think. So we showed WWF New York, and we showed the most dejected we've ever seen at Taz. Taz is sitting there like he got beat so
he got
bad
beat
by
up by
Austin.
Stone Cold,
Yeah.
and he like literally has to go discover what kind of man he is while eating jalapeno poppers in Times
Signing
Square.
autographs, angrily signing autographs. So WWF main event, future Hall of Famer Rhino comes out, him against Test. So this is the match where Test, dude, the entire mid card parade comes out.
Yep, we
beats him
got
up.
but under the guise of a lumberjack match first, isn't it? Or
No. They just come out.
They just come out
and they're just pointing at him, and like they never talk to him. They're like they could have found him in the
Doesn't know
locker
what's
room.
up.
They could have found him in the locker room before and
Yeah.
talked to him because they literally had about 10 minutes before this match started.
I was just looking at it. The way they were sitting there so calmly, it's like it was a lumberjack match. So
Well, they walked down to kind of like set the situation, and Test did nothing to deserve the the beating that he got after this. But it just jumped into it. They made a mistake.
right.
Now we have a cousin, not really a cousin intergender tag match, but it's Matt Hardy and Lita versus Trish and Big Show. That match happened. All right, so now the WCW main event
ooh, already?
ruins it,
Dude.
What a great stage right there.
Can I talk
a little bit about
First of all, they come on, and I want to feel for WCW, and it doesn't really
They
yet.
do change the lighting.
There's logos. Okay, the
They change
logos
lighting,
have changed,
too.
yes.
They
The
turn
lighting
the
has
lighting on
changed.
the top of the.
Give me some Nitro Girls.
I don't even want the pizzazz of it. Just do it. Like they had a whole pizzazz. Where
I would like to say also that the 2017 ring crew with the Cruiserweight Classic is way better than this 2001 ring
roping
crew.
up those purple ropes.
Putting it over, dude, because they have like 3 segments to get ready for this match. Patterson, Slaughter talking about how it couldn't have been tested after they beat him up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a commercial break.
And then they do 10 minutes. They have
Dude,
a 10-minute opening. Of this.
Yes, a big long intro. Order up. Did they forget to order turnbuckles?
Yeah.
Why did they? And they do it on SmackDown too. So they're like, that was the price. You bought this company for pennies on the dollar.
You can't
Buy some
or
cocksucking
make
turnbuckles.
some turnbuckles.
Make some turnbuckles.
because they have a new
Stick
logo and everything
Slap
too.
a sticker on it, or fucking go out with black spray paint and spray paint your WWF ones real quick, or gaff tape them or something. Why are the ring logos the only thing that don't change?
The only thing that they do basically is they change. Well, they change the ropes and they change the apron. Why did it take 20 minutes to get to a match?
It took too long.
The crowd's
They
already dead.
intro
Kills
for the
crowd.
first time. They intro Scott Hudson in Double A.
Yep.
In Double A, I don't know what's wrong with his mic. You can't hear a
Doesn't
fucking word
change on
he's saying.
SmackDown either.
His mic's bad on SmackDown
Yeah,
too.
it's still, yeah. It's still low, but I think that's how he talked though.
Stacy Keibler in her first night as a ring announcer, unless she did it with WCW, is miles better than Lillian Garcia at this time.
Put her there. They should have a Lillian Garcia versus Stacey Keibler match at Invasion.
She's
Decide
not
who
good,
goes on.
dude.
No, she's
Lillian's
bad.
not good at this point, and she becomes one of the best ring announcers of all time, I'll say. But she
Well, that's after
dude,
like 15
yes.
years of doing it.
she is not good. Stacy Keibler gets it immediately. Stacy Keibler is good. I wrote why in the ring.
Did they come in the ring? Did Scott Hudson and Arn Anderson come
No,
inside the ring?
they did a hello.
They did come in
Yeah,
the ring.
they did
All
like
right.
they did like a hello, and then they had Shane in the
That's
ring.
what it is. Why Shane?
Yeah,
Why?
you didn't have you already. Everyone knows
Everyone's
what this is.
here. We're ready to go.
And then Regal comes out and goes, "Shane, you got to get out."
That's right. You got to go.
And,
And
let
then
me bring out my security.
my own security on
WCW
your
can't
show.
afford Doug Dillinger. They can't get Doug Dillinger in there to fucking
So
run
now
security
it's
for them.
been literally 1 minute, and WWF has already overpowered
Yep.
WCW. They have already technically overproduced or whatever.
And you're not watching the last week where Steve Austin and Angle go, yeah, you should have this match because of this, this, and this. When you're thinking we're going to have an interference, you're putting a bad product in front of a crowd that isn't great to go. at this
And then
point.
here it comes, because we're going to commercial, right?
Yeah, we go to commercial
We go to
again.
commercial.
Yeah.
Going to commercial. What does Scott Hudson do? Toonie, do you remember what Scott Hudson does?
Next up, the WWF Championship match.
Buff Bagwell versus Booker T for the WWF Championship. 20 years later, Jim Ross would do the same thing with AEW.
Oh, man.
He would call
20
it
years.
the WWE
Dynamite. Yep. Yo, Buff Bagwell comes out. He's
$1 million. Looks great.
No,
The music's
but he's
great.
still wearing the exact 1998 outfit.
Oh,
that he
yeah.
wore.
He looks out of time. Man out of time.
Man out of time.
Man
Dude,
out of time.
Imagine a
Buff
man out of time
Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell gimmick.
Man out of time.
Man out of time, Bret Hart.
And I know we
He really
touched on
did
it.
this week.
This match is not as bad as people make it out to be.
You watch it again, and people that don't watch it say it's the worst match of all time.
Yeah, to rewatch it. It's fine. And the fucking crowd. Washington sucks. They're chanting boring. Nothing's boring yet. This is a fresh new look. There's WCW logos on the television.
They didn't want
for
to like
the first
it.
time. They didn't care.
Dude, they've been told for the last 25 years of watching WWF that WCW sucks. That's what they've been told. That's the audience that you
Was
have
this
right
never a WCW market? The Northwest?
Tacoma? I told you they had one. They had one
Pacific
March.
Northwest was never a.
Dude, I'll tell you what, guys. When you guys were growing up as wrestling fans, I don't know about you, but like just everybody I knew was a WWF fan, and then some of them also watched WCW.
The older, I think the older
And then
crowd was more WCW.
I knew some parents, like my dad, and like I had uncles that watched WCW because they knew those guys. Those guys were all over there. But like the growing trend and the buzz around here, anyway, growing up, always WWF, like WCW. Like it felt shocking to learn that WCW was out doing ratings with the WWE.
Well, I was watching.
That could be totally different in the South.
Well, that's the thing, though. So the South is completely different, and also grandmas are different. Grandmas
also,
are watching
WCW
WCW.
They're watching. She's a stunt
WCW
grand.
died 3 years earlier, really, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and that really 2 years of like really bad TV.
In 1 year of terrible TV.
And
you're getting
like,
Buff Bagwell as the main
and
event.
like we don't want to see WCW versus WCW guys at this point either. So yeah, they got everything working against them.
I think it's really sad because I thought Buff looked great. Sorry about your attitude, Buff, but I thought he looked good. I don't think this match is that bad. But to speak to that, Toonie, is we all grew up literally an hour and a half from the world headquarters of WWE.
Yeah.
There's no way, even if they were losing everything, us in the Northeast, there's no way WCW could have taken over the Northeast.
Well, what happened in the Northeast was like WWF had they had the Spectrums, and then
they like
WCW would have
40-year
to do
contracts, so they'd have to come to Lowell
or like
whatever.
they had Master Gardens, so they had to do the Nassau County, so they weren't able to do the big events. They'd have to go to the lower markets, like not Pittsburgh, but like Wilkes-Barre, because WWF had such a stranglehold on it.
Yeah,
so this
WCW in Amherst.
Exactly.
At the
At
Mullins
Amherst.
Center,
Yeah, the
yeah,
Mullins
the
Center.
Mullins
That's what
Center.
they.
That's
That's what they
actually
had.
sits more. We're getting really local, but that sits more than the Springfield Civic Center, the Mullins
Interesting.
Center. Sits more.
I
It's
wonder
like
why
1,000
they,
more.
I think they came to the Springfield Civic Center too in like the early '90s too.
Well, the 300 of us that were there didn't really need that much space.
So this shows that the WCW roster is kind of weak at this point because your two main eventers that you're picking for your first main event is Booker T and Buff
I
Bagwell.
like the Buff Bagwell thing. I don't know if we need to see Booker. He's got exposure. He's
Yeah,
up.
he's
He
always-
doesn't have to defend the championship in the first. I'd rather see Shane Helms on here. I'd rather see
give me Shane Helms, Billy
gimme
Kidman, or-
Ray
yeah.
and
They
give
don't
me
have
two.
Ray
Give
or
me
anything.
Chavito.
Give me Lance
Chavito's
Storm.
here,
Give me
right?
Lance Storm.
Give me Lance Storm and Chavito.
Yeah, I'll take that. Chavito shows up on SmackDown. Give me Lance Storm versus Mike Awesome, or give me Mike Awesome versus Booker T or something.
Or Buff Bagwell or whatever. Or give me Mike Awesome versus Spike Dudley. I don't care. It doesn't have to be like whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is too, this match it wasn't bad. You could tell they were a little gassed. They had a little ring rust, and it was just a touch and go. This is the pilot to WCW Raw. Ruined it.
Stinks.
And people think that there's no more WCW events,
No.
but SmackDown.
Here we go.
Here we're going into SmackDown. We're on July 5th, 2001.
And
And we're in the beautiful state of Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, we're still there. So Tacoma, Washington happens. Now, I did want to say earlier, the WCW announcers during the main event were putting over Linda more than they put over the match. They're like the effervescent Mrs. McMahon allowed us to be here. It was all Linda at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
And I forgot that we didn't talk about the payoff of the Tori Wilson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Tori Wilson in the back.
Which they
says, "I wanna show
recap
you
on the
something."
opening of SmackDown.
So we'll talk about that right here. Pulls down his jacket. He's getting all McMahon genetic jackhammered up.
Oh, this is Vince. He
Yeah.
goes, give it to me. Give it to me. I'm ready for it.
As he's trapped in like a suit down by the arms. Turns around and it's not Tori. It's Linda McMahon. And what a pop. What a pop for Linda
Dude,
McMahon.
Pop of the night besides Jeff Hardy, who I'm sure was on. And he snaps into, you don't think I can change. I
Pants are down.
changed.
Pants are down.
Pants are down.
He's falling all over the room.
God.
Oh, come on. He falls in the corner. Vince McMahon will allow himself to do this every time, though. He'll make himself look like an ass on national television.
And what's the button? What is Linda's whole purpose?
Linda's purpose is she wants to divorce and she wants to have a reason to have the divorce. So basically, she entrapped Vince
Tori
McMahon
Wilson
on TV, so Vince McMahon can go to the next event and just show this at the jury selection. So they do the whole Vince McMahon Tori Wilson recap. They do a WCW title match for a main event tonight.
Yes.
On SmackDown. WCW title match main event. This should have main evented the first night if you're going to do this the next fucking night. DDP versus Booker T.
And it's good.
Yeah.
It's
DDP looks
good.
Great.
That should have been the first match.
Yeah. Those are your two biggest guys.
It's good. That's what I think. That could have been the other night.
Yeah.
It's there's good stuff. They do a little brawling outside, they come back in, and then they brawl fully to the back, right?
Yep. And then we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
That's the end of the show. But opens up Jericho and Spike Dudley against Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys wins the match. They threw around Spike Dudley. Jericho cleaned house. Then the next thing happens, and this is the highlight of the SmackDown. Like, this week is pretty lousy. We have Austin, Angle, Vince. Austin,
Here it comes.
brought some presents.
Oh boy, did
Vince
he.
feels bad. Vince got entrapped by Linda McMahon in a lousy scheme.
And
Austin
and
says,
Angle were there the whole. Yep.
I brought you some presents, Vince. I stopped at the airport, saw these great hats, and I got you a Stetson cowboy hat. I got myself one too. And then Angle's sitting in the back looking all proud, like he's thinking there's a third present here. I got one. Did I get one? He gets one too, and he gets the little tykes, like the baby
woven straw woven with the sheriff badge on it.
Dude, it becomes one of Angle's most infamous looks in his career.
Dude, and
it's like a defining look. It's one of the defining
he
looks.
Did it? He brought it back for the Hall of Fame induction. He
absolutely
this one time, and Angle is not dejected.
Yeah,
Angle is the happiest little cowboy that ever,
great.
And that's what's beautiful about it.
This is what makes Angles like a face, like a super over face, because you're showing him being vulnerable, getting made fun of, but he's going along with it, having a great time. And it's palpable. Like this room is palpable.
He's so naive that it works.
Yeah, dude, he's playing the Boy Scout. He's playing the Captain America Boy Scout, and he plays it so well.
Willikers, guys.
Yeah, yeah. He even says it. Yeah, but was it the Boy Scouts, the Cub Scouts? He names off all these different scouts that he was in. And Austin's great at playing the curmudgeon against him, the bully against Angle. And then Angle will get in Austin's face. But then the moment that he finds a reason to go after someone else with Austin, he's going to jump right on his side. It's like a big brother, little brother situation. It's hysterical. So right after this, we get, you keep your shirts on your side. You keep your shirts on your
Here
side.
we go,
It's
Marsha.
the WWF, WCW Brady Bunch feud where you stay on your side. And the sexual tension is just as palpable.
Ooh, as that addict with the Brady's.
Yeah, but it's Nick Patrick, Billy Silverman, and debuting Charles Robinson, little Nate.
Only guy in this room that still has a job. Looking at that, when you look at this shot right here.
Yeah, it's like Jack.
No, wait, Kyoto's
Jack
there.
Jones,
Kyoto's
not there. Kyoto's in AEW for a minute. Now he's not doing anything.
Kyoto?
Yeah.
Oh, Kyoto's not here now. You're right. No, Jack Doan's gone too. Nobody's there except for Charles Robinson.
And Charles Robinson just lost his great robe on the Most Wanted Treasure.
I know. Oh,
I hated that episode.
Well, he gave it away for free too, didn't he?
Yeah. He got a robe. He got a robe.
Oh, they gave him one back?
Gave him the golden robe in return. The early golden robe. I'd take the golden robe.
The early
over the
golden
jungle
robe, or
yeah,
the
the early
the
golden
comeback
robe.
golden robe?
No, like the NWA.
Not the one I have the
title
big door
for the first
frame
time.
photo of. Yeah.
No. Just like the early gold robe, which looks very nice.
That's
Gold
way cooler.
flakes.
That's way cooler.
It's so good.
What
so
a treasure Charles Robinson is.
He was crying on the episode too. I felt so bad because he knew he didn't want to get rid of it. So we have Crash versus Jackie. Good little match. Jackie beats Crash. He lost to women 2 times in a week, and then I don't think we see Crash for a while after this. Now WS Most Eligible Bachelor comes out, is approached by Trish. So this will play into effect later on. But Trish likes her some Jeff Hardy.
Boy, does she. But Trish likes everybody now.
Oh, Trish is all over the place. She was a TNA. She had Big Show. They had nothing for her at this point because they needed to get her off of the whole bark like a dog.
And it stinks because they could have just doubled down on training her because she becomes one of the most capable divas.
Dude, the next week she has a good match. This week she has I think she has a match this week. She has a bad match. Next week she has a good match with Lita. Lita is not that great in the ring.
No, but they always worked well together.
Oh, that was the last. There was a Big Show, Trish, and Lita versus Matt Hardy on Raw.
Yeah.
Not that great.
Yeah. Oh, that's one we skipped over. Yeah.
Yep. So Booker T takes a walk of shame APAs, like they're all dogging him, but Booker T's walking down. He's trying to be tall and everything.
Yeah.
Say like, I deserve that beating that I got at the end of Raw from Angle and Austin. I deserve to get thrown out of the door like Kane.
Yeah, that's right. Raw goes off the air. No, that's this. Is that this?
That
Is
was
that
Raw.
SmackDown?
Because it goes to the backseat. We forgot about Buff Bagwell's like hitting him too. He's like, yeah, let's get him, boys. Like with Austin and Angle, and then they turn on Buff and throw him out too. So after that, we have Vince asking Austin and Angle why Booker T is here, and they decide to give him another beating tonight when someone knocks on the door. So Angle just opens the door and he's like, yeah, come on in. And it's a guy with a summons for divorce. Yeah, so Vince is so pissed off at Angle for letting him in, and then Austin's pissed off because Vince is mad at him. And it's just, again, great bits.
This is the bit where Austin is talking about all the things he would do to Booker T. And then Angle starts talking about, yeah, you're right. These are all the things I would do to Booker T. Well, and then Austin goes, well, go find him.
Yeah, go do it then.
Go do it then. He goes, what? He goes, you just said you wanted to do this to Booker T, so go find him. That might be a little later, but this is
he wants he wants his hat back.
Yeah.
You better give that hat back. No, so it's great. So this is going to be this original setup to the brand extension. It was going to be the divorce, everything split 50-50. We're going to have WWF, SmackDown, WCW, Raw. I own Raw now because you divorced, and then they just changed everything because
of what happens later. But this week it's better than Monday.
Yeah, the episode of SmackDown is much better than Monday.
Production-wise is better. No, WCW stuff. This episode of SmackDown stinks.
No, I was going to say,
the WCW part.
Because the Shane Helms versus Billy Kidman match. Good little match. They actually, I thought they should have finished with the shooting star press. You got this guy with the shooting star press.
Just do it.
Finish with it. They teased the vertebraker a couple times. But they did get the one of my favorite names, Nightmare on Helm Street.
That's great.
Yeah. So a weird finish though. Billy Kidman hits like an inverted pedigree that didn't look that great, and that was the finish. So that was Charles Robinson's debut in the ring though. He was the ref of that match.
How is the inverted pedigree? That is like face up.
No, it's because he kind of reverses something and then lands with like holding his arms up. And
I understand.
And Helms is laying back, kind of doing a Bernie, and then he jumps him right down. And the best part is Xbox in the back watching it's the Ovaltron SmackDown, which is great, and they're watching an Ovaltron TV in the back. So just what production at this point?
I love this SmackDown. This isn't Fist SmackDown. This is I had the toy to the SmackDown. It's the multi-ringed one.
Yeah, it's TTL SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yep. So Edge and Christian are continuing their love affair with the trophy, and Edge has an IC title match against Albert. Albert beats the shit out of him, which is not great for Edge because Edge is king of the ring at this point, and he's not really doing anything that
no.
He's getting his ass.
He's starting to Billy Gunn the title.
Yeah, he's really Billy Gunning that trophy. So we have Vince McMahon heading to the ring. Because heaven help us if we don't get another Vince McMahon promo in the ring. And Vince looks dejected. He's you know what? He's explaining himself.
I can explain.
This is why he is what he is. It's not his fault. It's women's fault. And he comes out with a hat. He does a nice little hat wig. He's wearing a nice over. I've never seen Vince in like the oversized. This is casual wear Vince.
Yeah.
So he gets to the ring. He's like pleading on his hands and knees. He's saying, "I'm not a terrible person." And then he gets to the point where he is a terrible person. He deserves all of this. And then William Regal comes out, gives him a hug. And the best is Austin and Angle are watching in the back on a couch, and they're so pissed off
mad that
when Regal hugs him. And right after that, he's like, "Vince, you are the best. You are the greatest." So Vince is like having a ball. He's jumping out of the ring. He goes, "I want to go to a bar tonight to celebrate." You know what? We're in Tacoma, Washington. I want to go to a nudie bar.
Oh, my God.
Tajiri, come on with me. He takes Tajiri.
Vincent Tajiri headed off to the nudie bar.
Yeah, come on. So we get the first appearance of Big Show and Billy Gunn, the Shoguns. And they're throwing around the Hardys, dude. They beat the Hardys. It's always the brought together tag teams that could beat established tag teams.
Again, something about this. It's like a Legion of Doom pop. This Hardy pop.
Oh my God, yeah.
Even in Tacoma. Dude, every time that music hits, the crowd goes fucking nuts.
Jeff.
No, I know it's Jeff.
Yeah. Like Matt's kind of in the
Matt
background.
was always my favorite, not just because I'm a Matt. Like Matt, I always like Matt more. I don't know why.
I always like Jeff more. Jeff was more colorful.
Jeff was better.
He's like the Shawn Michaels of the whole group. But yeah, like they both have had established careers at this point.
And the way Matt has reinvented himself time and time again.
Yeah, so Vince is having a blast backstage. So we go backstage again and see acolytes, and they bring the WF mid-carders together. And this is what you were talking about earlier. It's the Austin pumping everybody up against Angle. And Austin's telling everybody, let's do this together. And then the mid-card guys go like, you know what? We should do something together. Let's go get a beer. So they just head out to get a beer, and now it's Kurt Angle has to go up against Booker T.
Yep.
So we have Malenko's one of his last matches. We have Scotty
Really?
Duhati versus Dean Malenko. This is like the third from his last match. Dean Malenko loses because Perry Saturn.
Is he
gets
on
involved.
Invasion, Dean Malenko?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I think
he
we
is.
see. I think we see Dean Malenko last in August, and Dean Malenko could have been someone in WCW. I would have taken him back. You know,
He could have been on that team. He's established. I mean, the four of them left because they hated WCW so
this
much.
isn't
but
WCW anymore.
This isn't that.
Yeah, but so those are the two.
Well,
guys, two
Malenko
guys
could have
right
been
there.
Malenko could have been like some sort of manager or anything. Not manager, but I don't know, something, some sort of guiding
He was
spirit.
apparently like a blast in the back. He was apparently like a Greg Maddox situation where Greg Maddox was very stoic on the mound, but like he was like
Just a
you
great
don't want
guy.
to be pranked by Greg Maddox in the back. That's like Dean Malenko was from the back. Now we're on the main event, and this is the DDP versus Booker T. This should have made event in Raw, dude. And Billy Silverman's the ref, so we've seen all three refs of Nitro now with Dick Patrick,
The
Charles Robinson.
Commentary's a little better. Scott Hudson's a little insufferable.
Yeah, he talks
But
way
again,
too
like-
loud and way too.
Yeah, and Arn Anderson, I can't fucking understand what he's saying. Like,
Yep.
talk into his everybody's dad, Arn Anderson, and this is everybody's dad because this is like old Arn
Oh, yeah,
Anderson.
this
And,
is-
and that's crazy because Arn has always been an excellent promo guy.
Yeah.
So like that stinks on the execution.
No,
But,
I literally
I
think
was
it's
gonna
a
say all
technical
those little
thing.
things, though, like the bringing in of the WCW refs, all those little things were really well done. Like those
They have different
referees,
uniforms, which
those
helps.
referees, those like Nick Patrick, Charles Robinson, like those referees, they're the WCW refs. That's great. Having Arn over there, great. There's a lot of things they could have done better, but those
But
little
again-
things, very very well done.
No turnbuckles. You had
Where
a
are the
whole day.
turnbuckles?
No turnbuckles. Where are your WCW turnbuckles?
They had
Never.
a whole day, dude. They had a whole day
Whole
to
day.
prepare
To do something, to take them off and put black ones on.
Dude, it feels like they had every toy they wanted to do, but at this point they're just flying by the seat of their pants because they're like, what we need to get this over as quickly as possible. This is the biggest angle in wrestling
The
history.
truth is, they're
yes.
just running an angle. They're not like literally trying to sell
Not changing
people
the
on
world.
storyline.
Yeah.
Should
They're
have
not trying
been-
to sell the storyline because they won.
This is where, yes, but they won. This is where they should have took their time and slowly like warm this thing up, and they don't. They just like they're more scatterbrained than they ever were. They've lost focus somehow. They've got too many things going on. XFL just failed.
I
Like,
think that's a lot of it. I think he failed at the XFL, so he's kind of feels like a public embarrassment. So he's just
so he has to
overcompensating
what
for
say
this.
show how badly he beat his competition. Like
Well, yeah, it's all ego, man. That's what Vince McMahon is.
I really wish they took their time.
Yeah, and if they did take their time, again, put the DDP and Booker T on Raw because this is a good little match. The DDP looks great. He looks exactly the same as he did previously.
Oh, he comes out. So is this the debut of like Lightning Bolt Vest DDP? Because he's been Stalker this whole time. This is DDP. This
DDP's
is WCW DDP.
This is Ready to Rumble
Yeah.
DDP.
Rated. That's my WCW.
That's my DDP. So DDP's there. Taker comes out obviously to distract him. He gets the roll up. Angle comes out. Now Angle's going after Booker T because DDP's
Austin
running
psyched
off.
him up too.
I think DDP hurt himself on that DDT on the chair too because he's kind of limping on the way out, and Taker's running after him. Then he has to stop.
Yeah.
He has to like start walking after him. So Angle tries to do the Angle slam. Booker T gets out, gets him the axe kick. He hits him with the WCW titles. Now we have Austin and Angle both hit with the WCW title. Oh, come on.
No, the end of this is pandemonium is pretty good.
Yeah, because then DDP's outside with Taker. Taker wants DDP. DDP tells him to turn around, and we have our debuts of what? Chavo Guerrero's out.
That's
we have
his
Chris
Chavito,
Canyon, Sean Stasiak. Buff Bagwell's there because people do believe that he was fired after Raw. He was still there for SmackDown. He was gone after that, though. Mike Awesome's there. Lance Storm's there. So Undertaker's getting beat around by this group that's ambushing him. Shane McMahon comes out and goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then DDP turns on Shane. We have more fighting in WCW than we have WCW versus WWF at this point. Booker T comes out. Mike Awesome goes, "What are you doing, champ?" and starts beating him around.
They beat him up because
what is going
Book's
on
pissed.
here?
Book's pissed when he sees Shane's down. He's like, "What
This is
happened?"
my guy. He brought me over here.
Yeah.
This is my spotlight. And it just so I know that they're trying to build for WCW Raw. This is what they wanted. And now originally Scott Hudson had to get called in the day before because they had a deal with Joey Styles. Joey Styles wanted more money, and they said, "We can't do it. We're not doing it. We'll bring in Scott Hudson." Because basically Joey Styles had to back out at that point. He didn't want to do it for that.
Well, too bad.
So we would have had Joey Styles sitting there announcing for WCW.
He's there in 4 years.
Yeah, he comes in there, but then he goes just as quickly too.
He's but he's on the .com for like a decade.
Yeah,
he
he
has a
he's
job with
backstage
this
for
company.
a
Does
while.
such a good job.
No, it's great one man commentary.
So speaking of Joey Styles, though, next week the invasion gets extreme.
I'm Matthew James,
I'm Nick Schultz.
I'm Sexy Jesus.
and this is
Invasion 20.